Okay, everyone, we are going to get started here. So please turn around, pay attention. If you're in the back still getting food, please be quiet and excuse yourselves as we start this meeting. You guys are in for a treat. If you have not had the opportunity to meet Kimber Walton, you need to do so. She is our regional tech trainer. She's amazing. She does so many other things outside of her role. She's a marketing genius. She is a mom, a marathon runner, and a great dancer. So
A great dancer, huh? I didn't know about that part.
with no further ado, I'll turn it over to Kimber for her Client Touch program class.
Awesome. Hey, I am so excited to be here. This is the first time that I have taught at KW Westfield as a regional technology trainer. So I am so excited to be at this office. Your leadership team is world class. I'm sure you already know that, but in case you don't have the perspective of other offices, you guys have something special here. So I am so excited. Shoni and Hunter, they reached out to me and said, this is what our agents need. So I will tell you, kind of tee up exactly what we're going to talk about today. Kind of want to get a feel in the room. So who has been in the business less than 5 years? Okay. So we have a good amount that are, I won't make you do the whole like, who's been in 20 years? Because then everyone's like, oh no, like you're making me like look older. So, okay, so we have a pretty good mix, probably more less than 5 years agents than people that have been in the business longer than that, but it's kind of a good frame of reference for me. This class is not catered to a specific production group. It's not catered to if you're on a team versus if you're a solo agent. This is for everybody selling real estate through a database, which I'm pretty sure is all of us. So that is what we're going to spend time on today. So here's just a little bit about me. I am a licensed agent at the KW South Valley office, which is in South Jordan. I hold 2 roles within the organization of Keller Williams. So I work for the Salt Lake County locations. We have 3 as the marketing director, and a lot of the stuff that we go through today, you guys will get a little bit of a taste, and I'll be sharing a lot of the content with you, things that I normally do when I'm teaching in those offices. And then the reason why I'm here is I am the regional technology trainer for the state of Utah. So that encompasses 7 market centers and I believe 3 or 4 business centers, about 1,700 agents. So I am charged with teaching on our technology and then also helping our agent services, market center tech trainers. Hunter is yours here. To help all of you implement our technology and use it as a tool to run a higher level business. So that's what we do here. I was a market center administrator, not because we're going to talk about that ever again in my life. Nobly is the GOAT though when it comes to MCAs, but I do put it on here just to show that I have been at KW as of August a decade. So I am older and wiser, and this is why you need to listen to me, is why I keep that on there. Okay. Awesome. So today we are going to talk about a high-level touch program. What do we call that at Keller Williams for those that have been here a minute? High-level touch program. What's another term maybe the MREA would call that? 36 touch. Whoop, whoop. Yes. So, but I wanted to call it something cooler and different. And we are spicing it up a little bit. We're going to make a really intentional piece of content messaging that you can send to your database that will elevate just what you think the traditional 36 touches that you already have running. So this is the plan for today. We are going to do a quick database health check-in. We are going to just remind all of us, maybe some of us have just gotten a license, so I want to make sure everybody knows what a 36 touch is. We're going to talk about call to actions. That's a big piece of connecting and engaging our database. And then I am going to share with you the annual real estate review formula. So this is your big like takeaway, something that you could go implement today to engage your database and get more conversations going, more business going. And then we're going to talk about why online capture is important in this equation, right? So this is not your traditional 36 touch class by any means. So that's the plan for today. Okay, so this is a slide that I share every month when I teach an Ignite class. I teach a Grow Your Database class. And this is the slide I share with brand new agents every single month. However, it is a good check-in for every agent that's in the business that has a license. So the goal I set for Ignite students is within your first 90 days in real estate, you have an exceptional database. So I'm going to quickly remind you what these levels of database are. And I just need to point out, you can take as many pictures as you want. I've already sent the slide deck to Hunter so he can send a follow-up to the office for all of this. So you'll have the PDF. You can just keep it forever if you want. Okay, so database health score. We're going to find out who has an exceptional database in here. So first, essential. You have to do the essential database first. That is as simple as having the contact information for your database. The name, address, phone number, and email. And I love a good acronym. We love a good acronym at KW. So NAPE is your acronym. This just makes this functional. If you don't have the pieces of information to connect with somebody and market to them, then it doesn't matter if you have a really cool marketing piece that Kimber shared with you, right? You need that piece of information. So that's going to be your first step. Your second step is it effective? So in addition to having all of the pieces of contact information for the individual, now I have things like I've obtained permission to contact them, usually with our sphere, our clients, people that are our family, friends, past clients, people that know, like, and trust us, usually not an issue. However, your business grows as you start to connect with more people, you need that permission to contact them, right? Collecting personal information, insights, and preferences. So as your database grows, you're going to start to learn what areas the people that are in your database are interested in. Potentially what price range they're in or what they're looking for. Maybe they have a big appetite for investing. Maybe that's all they're really doing is buying investment properties. So you start to learn things about somebody, and then you're going to amplify your database accordingly, right? Putting in those notes, putting in those tags. And segmenting and grouping is what those tags are. So we're going to talk a little bit about that today, but knowing where people are at and categorizing them in your database is going to be a huge piece of this. Is somebody a first-time home buyer? Are they in your sphere? I know you guys have a client event coming up. I think it's this week. Knowing who is in your database that you want to send that and who maybe you don't want to invite someone to, you need to have that tag. Okay, so an exceptional database is everything that I just mentioned, but you have automation. You have triggers. Things are happening while you're sleeping, while you're in Cabo, while you're at the splash pad. The goal is automation. And I always get, if I ask, I stopped asking because I don't want people to disagree with me, just kidding. There's always somebody that's like, well, I don't want to automate my database. That sounds so impersonal. And I agree. My goal with creating an optimal 36 touch is that you have the majority of it automated. It still feels human. It still feels you. And this allows you to be prospecting-based, marketing enhanced. Too often, we are creating flyers as agents. And I will tell you, as a marketer, I would say you are spending time on something that is more than not a $50 an hour job. An agent on average is going to be more in that $250 to $300 an hour range. And that's obviously going to go up and up and up based on how much leverage you have and how many transactions you have going through, right? So we want to automate a lot of it. And the nice thing about this is we'll be able to automate what I figure is 2/3 of your 36 touch, so that you can just focus on those calls, those contacts, those nurtures. I don't do this to be rude, but I like to always know who is consistent about calling their database 4 times a year. I love the people that always raise their hand. They do it with some type of a nose crunch or like a half hand. Usually we're not like, yes, 4 times a year. If you have majority of your 36 touch automated, you should be able to call people 4 times a year, everybody in your database. And we'll talk about the system around doing that. Okay, so that's kind of the database health check-in. We're just going to go through this really quick. I like to touch on it so that you know that it's around. So we have something at Keller Williams called a 201 club. So we have data from having users in command that shows, because we have 160,000 real estate agents in Keller Williams, that at 201 contacts is that delta where your income goes up considerably, your gross commission income. That's where we're exceeding over $100,000. So we thought, because there's that correlation, let's put a focus on being in the 201 club, right? If you are in relationship consistently and often with at least 201 people, then you will be making 6 figures in this business. So this is my favorite Gary Keller quote, because it's just straightforward to the point. If you aren't hitting your goal, your database either isn't large enough or you aren't following up with it consistently. Usually you don't get like the sexy Seth Godin quotes from Gary Keller. He's just like, if you're not winning, it's because you're losing. Like, it's just very straightforward, but I love it. I love how direct he is with that stuff. Okay, so here's just a quick screenshot of how you see if you're in the 201 club. So if you have the Command app downloaded on your phone, you just log in with your same login that you log in with Command, and you go click on your profile at the top. And if you've never been in there and you're in the 201 club, literally confetti will fall. I don't know how much more fun we could make it, other than you're gonna make more. If you've already been in there, you'll just see there's a little like banner around your headshot. So that's how you know. So if you're like, well, dang it, I'm not in the 201 club, set an appointment with Hunter. He'll help you get your database in. Okay, so this is the summary of communicating with everyone in your database. We're gonna focus in on this right side. This is a 36 touch. This is the one that I follow. There are definitely a few different versions, but this one is the, I don't know, I would say tried and true. So 4 quarterly calls, 26 biweekly emails, 2 touches for events, get-togethers. Usually agents far exceed that, because in our offices, we're holding way more than 2 events a year usually. And then 4 promotional direct mail things. We're going to talk about that today. Things that are, I like to call them sticky mailers. The reason why, if somebody gets it, why would they want to hold on to it? So if it has like a coupon attached to it, or it's like a BYU football schedule, This is the only room I've used that example, but I finally got to use it. I got you. Dean is my favorite, you guys. He's so awesome. Yes, had to represent for that. Versus just, hey, it's like spring and there's flowers outside, like no one cares. And also, that's better than nothing because it's spring, there's flower outside, no one cares. And I saw Susie's name, I saw her contact info. I remembered she's my agent, right? It's not the worst. Okay, who can finish this sentence? Set up a database and no, but close. It's going to be in that family. Beat it. Yay. Are you on the ALC or something? Have you been here? Like, do you know, have you read the book? Okay, awesome, yes. So in the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book, we talk about set up a database and feed it. So we're gonna talk about feeding it today. Unfortunately, most of us, and I'll put myself in the same category, we do this. We set up a database and we ignore it completely. As a newer agent, nothing made me more mad than when we would have a panel at team meeting, and there would usually be 3 really cool agents. Angie was probably on that panel at some point. And then we talk about how we get business. And the agent would say something annoying like, I get all my business from my sphere of influence. The next person, I just get all my business is primarily sphere. And as a new agent that's like just churning and burning and like calling back everybody that could possibly have like sniffed or said the word real estate, that was so hard for me because they were just like, yeah, thanks, I'm on this panel, and then I'm just gonna be off the rest of the day. It bugged me. And yet it's because at one point they did all of these things in order to have the phone ring, right? To have these intentional touches going, then they had the predictable business, the consistent business. So it's annoying, and we're all going to head down, commit to the formula so that we can be that agent that's like, just, yeah, I don't know, just do the consistent things and we're good. Okay, so we are going to go through now. Hopefully that was kind of a good refresher, or it introduced you to what a 36 touch is, kind of what the database is. What questions, if any, do you guys have about the pieces that we went over? Does that kind of make sense as far as a good baseline? Yes.
So
yeah.
on the slides, there were like 3 columns. Was the,
yeah.
Like a 19.
Oh, I'm going the wrong way. Yeah.
So with that, imagining each column based on how much contact you've had with each person, at what point would you move someone from that first column to the second to the third?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So this is how I operate it. So my sphere are my people, right? Like if they said that they had another agent that wasn't me, like I would be personally offended, right? So that's my sphere. My sphere, I always have a 36 touch running so that I am in relationship with them, right? It cements the relationship. Where I am going to use 19 to connect is, I like to use the open house example. So I sit in a open house and then 5 people come into the open house. The open house is in Vineyard. It is, I don't know how much houses are in Vineyard, 700,000, is that fair? It's a $700,000 home and it has a 3-car garage, and I meet those 5 people. I met them in Vineyard. So I am not just going to be like, thanks for your name, it's on the piece of paper, I'm gonna call you on Monday after, and then they say, oh, actually, we're just looking, but thanks, it was nice to meet you at the open house. And then I'm just like, okay, bye. And then I just move on and hold the next open house. No, those 5 people, they're coming with me forever until they unsubscribe from my teeth death grip. Just kidding. So what I'm going to do though is intentionally that 19 to connect is going to be the follow-up info on Vineyard. Did you want me to assign you to, or don't even ask, because they filled out something that said, yes, like you can just reach out to me. An email, a neighborhood nurture about around that specific address that they walked into, and then follow up with them 5 days later and say, did you look at that email? Are there any other neighborhoods that you happen to be looking in that you want me to add that to? It comes through once a month. It doesn't spam you. It's in one email. You can just kind of scroll through that. Great. Awesome. Okay. It was so great to meet you. But then they're in your connect. If you throw them straight into 36 touch, you're talking to them like you're my person, and you definitely want them to feel comfortable around you. And you also are trying to convert at that point and let them build the trust with you. That probably explained it in too many words, but. Okay, great questions. No dumb questions too, forgot to say that. Okay, so a call to action, the actual definition is a marketing reference to a piece of content such as an image, a button, or text intended to prompt users to perform a specific action. So examples of a call to action would be things like a button on a web page that tells me what I need to do, an opt-in campaign button, anchor text in blog posts. If it says like, I can find you, I can get you the value of your home with my home value calculator, and home value calculator links to something, that's an example of an anchor text. Buttons or texts and emails, again, same thing, call to action, sign up for this, come ask for more info. And then text just in social media posts, those are going to be things like comment for this, something I'm telling them to do. DM me with this and I'll send you this, right? You're just very clear about what needs to happen and what you're going to do. So that's a call to action. So we're going to talk about a specific call to action that all of you can implement today. So does anybody that's currently just in the business, obviously all of you are, but has anyone ever done like annually like a, hey, I can tell you what your home's worth? Obviously, like us as agents, that's all we do is be like, do you want to know what your home's worth? But does anyone do it intentionally, like on an annual basis? Like a CMA for everybody, their past clients. Tell me more about your nod. Or have you done it, not still doing it? Okay. Do you do it at the beginning of the year? Okay. Cool. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay, I didn't even plant her, by the way. I wasn't like, and as we go through this, I'm going to loop back to you just as far as feedback of like maybe what we're missing or what you would add to it or any ahas you have from it, okay? Because I just, as an example of somebody that does it and sees value in it, I'd love to just connect those two. So I called it an annual real estate or property review. That by itself is strategic. The consumer does not know what a CMA is usually. Even worse, they don't know what a comparative market analysis is. Consumers kind of know the term comps. But usually the verbiage we use with our clients is not what they know traditionally. So be strategic about what you call something to get more engagement on it, right? I can do an annual property review. That's a little bit more focused on you are one person that owns a property versus real estate review. I might be just talking about like if you have a portfolio, let's look at your portfolio, right? So these are the pillars that we're going to deep dive into. So we're not just going to skim over and be like, cool, look, there's a postcard, you guys can send it. I really want to go through the thought process I put into this so that when you're doing a call to action for the next quarter, you almost use this as the recipe, right? Because this is this quarter and we can still use the same formula for another call to action. So personalization, celebrating achievements, selling options, market analysis, and scheduling a review. Said differently, setting the appointment. Okay, so we're going to go through each of those. Okay, so this is personalization. Any marketing that seems personalized to the individual is always going to be looked at and received differently than if it feels generic, standardized, mass BCC, right? So I say going back to segmenting, if we have our database organized by first-time homebuyers, investors, sellers, right? Like if we've been tagging people, if they have sold or bought a home with us, those are pieces of information that I can take this marketing piece and tailor it to specific groups. So if I take this and mass send it to everybody that's in my database, and there's 7 people in there that are first-time home buyers that have just been like applying and saving, and we've been working through everything, and I'm just like, do you want your annual property review? And they're going to be like, thanks. I haven't been able to buy a house yet, right? But we can tweak this messaging to be more catered to them. So that's an example. We need to segment our database with tags so that we do have different messages. And then adding their name to the email is huge. So the cool thing is we're going to share with you the smart plan. Everything's already done and made, but you can go in and change it if you want, customize it, obviously based on these different categories. The one that we're sharing with you, it's very specific about like what Angie's use case would be. Like you have purchased or you've sold a home with us in the past. Here's your annual property review. But in the template that we're sharing with you, it just has like a merge field for the contact name. So the email will start out like dear contact name, right? So it just adds a little bit more personalization. That goes a long way. It seems like something small, but it goes a long way. And then optional, but will take more time. I've seen people go through based on their past clients and actually include the address of that person's home, like in the subject line. Again, that would be a little bit more work. And if you have 20 people to go through that you're really providing a high level piece of content and conversation around, that would probably be worth it. The time would offset the value of that. So, okay. So I'm just laying out everything and then we can kind of bring it all together. So another key piece of this is celebrating achievements. So intention I put around something like this for the postcard is, and we kind of, you can't read the email, so don't try from here. But the email talks about, it's almost like affirming to them that they've done something good in the past. So you've made a great investment. Here's an average investment increase if you purchased a home. Like, we are making it more affirmative and positive, laying the framework for why we probably want to have a conversation. So this is just an example of a postcard version of the email. So annual property review is ready. There's a personalized from this specific team postcard on the back. Again, the smart plan that we're going to share with you, it has the Canva template linked in here. And you definitely don't have to scan it with your phone because you'll get the slides. But that QR code actually links to the postcard template. So you guys just have that. Okay, and now we're going through the options that they have. So what we think, this is kind of a good rule of thumb, what we think is obvious as agents isn't always as obvious to the client and the consumer that we're working with. So it feels like right now, have any of you felt like this with rates being a little bit higher than they were the last few years, where you're like, everyone that has already bought a home is set. They're set for a while, set forever. 5% is not even going to make a difference, you know, like there's the naysayer in me. And yet there are just things in life that you have to move regardless, right? Regardless of what the rate is on the billboard. So I am just reminding them of the opportunities that come up in life that change our real estate plan. So I'm sending them this email, talking to this, reminding them like I'm committed to keeping you informed about your investment. I'm eager to discuss this with you. Topics worth exploring might include, so I'm saying, hey, I want to have a conversation. This is what we could potentially be talking about on our combo. Changes in your family situation, such as welcoming a new baby or a child heading off to college, wheels start spinning. We don't need this much room. We don't need that 2,000 square foot basement. Any shifts in employment or income levels? Wow, we probably have more money. We could buy a nicer house. Plans to renovate, considering relocating or acquiring a vacation property. Things like that. I nicely said changes in your family situation. Put on a few positives. There's always a couple of negatives changing your family situation. And I'm just kind of reminding them, is there anything that's changed recently? I look forward to our convo, which should last between 10 to 15 minutes. Of course, if you have any specific questions or concerns, we can take as long as you need. Just reply to this email and let me know when you're available to chat. So I laid out the options, but the bottom part that's really important is I reminded them, like, here's what you need to do. And it's not going to take very long. That's very important. Okay. So here is the scheduling your review, like the personal invitation, like the ask, like setting the appointment. So I put this quote on here. I've shared it in a few classes that I've taught recently. And I actually think it's good if agents keep it as a focus, especially if we've been in the business long enough to where we were the only ones that had the keys to the properties and what they were selling for. I have been told that real estate agents used to go into the office and look at a book that was printed on paper that would say what houses were listed. I'm not going to make anyone raise their hand if they were in the business. And yeah, I do remember peeling off the sides of my homework paper printed, you know, the printers that had like the sides. Why'd they have those sides? We don't know. I don't get it. Anyway, so, but now consumers want convenience and control. anything you do, whether it's how someone sets an appointment with you, how they look at homes with you, how they communicate with you, if you are giving them more convenience and more control, you are winning. So always have that in the back of their mind. At the baseline, it's a non-scarcity mindset. You're not like, oh, I've got to have the formal. How much can I give them to just feel like they can research what we do as a team, and then I can come in and set the appointment? If it's all about the appointment, I'm not giving them the control, and I'm not giving them the convenience to maybe disseminate my listing presentation prior to me coming to their house, right? So back to this annual property review, we have a couple of different options. And then obviously, if you have even a different customized site that's not a KW site, you can do anything on your site. You can set up a landing page on your KW site that's this exact thing. It's a lead capture. Put the value of put your home address in here and I'll send you the value, or it will populate immediately. That is convenience, that is control. You can also link on that email, you can link something like a Calendly link that just links to your calendar. Does anyone in here have a Calendly? Just convenience and control. At 10 o'clock at night, I don't know about you, I'm not a night owl, okay? So I will speak for the night owls. I'm also kind of a morning person, so we'll figure that out. When Johnny was like, I like to sleep 8 hours, I'm like, that's awesome. I am not the 8-hour person. And if I want to be able to just go quickly look up something, or, oh my gosh, I really need to talk to Angie and go set the appointment with her, kind of love if I can do that when I thought about it versus, okay, Kimber, remember, or Siri, remind me to call Angie at 8:30 tomorrow morning when I'm super tired to call her back, versus I can just go book the appointment. So that's just another example. Okay, so this is, I'm gonna actually pull up, I'm gonna actually pull up the smart plan so you can see like the nuts and bolts for it. I put it as three touches or 3 items. So what it is, it's set up as an email, which is that annual property review email. I have a task reminder to send a postcard. Again, it's just going to remind me, hey, if you want to send this postcard, depending on where I'm at budget-wise with my marketing thing, you don't necessarily have to. I am big about layering a message. So if you are a big company that pays to have an ad at Vivint, at the Jazz game, and you see the company name around the court, and then when you're driving home and you see it on the billboard, that layered message is intentional, right? If they have X amount of a marketing budget, they're intentionally putting it in different locations and different mediums, because layering a message is how it's going to stick. You're going to do the same thing. Some people are email people. Some people will notice that postcard. Other people will see your social media post. If they happen to be the all 3, well, you've really cemented that message that that's something you can do. Most likely, you're going to have certain numbers of your SOI see the social media post. You're going to have certain people see the email, and you'll have a few people see the postcard. And then I just have a reminder to follow up 2 weeks later. So follow up is going to be huge with this. Okay, I'm going to go through a couple more slides, and then we're just going to open up command. Okay. So as far as additional resources for your 36 touch, I have, who runs a 36 touch? Who runs like you have emails going? You already have that. I'm like looking at Angie. Oh, good. Okay, great. Okay, I love it because we're gonna have, I don't love it. I don't love it, but I love it. Yeah. So, and I just want to point out, believe me, I really didn't plant her, I promise. This is like full transparency. I have the conversation of I am ignoring my database completely. I don't have my touches set up. My phone's been ringing, especially the last 3 years. So I haven't needed to nor wanted for any more business than I had. And so I didn't have it. The reason why I'm having more of these conversations with top producers is because, yes, I have been ignoring my database completely, Kimber. And the trickle of the faucet is not as robust as it used to be. Actually, it felt like it used to just be on, like I could actually like wash my dishes with that flow. Now it's like a trickle, right? So then that's when we're all looking up and going, oh my gosh, I got to get this set up. Oh my gosh. Right? Usually the people in our database is not the problem. It's usually like the consistent touches that we have going. So I'm going to share two with you. One is just, it's a real estate specific email, pretty generic, not specific to a market. That is intentional mainly because I'm making it for just KW in general. And I like it because if you have Sphere or database or family outside of Utah, you can still add them to this email. And then if they still reach out to you as top of mind, you can refer business to them and get a referral fee just for having the relationship. So that is nice to have. And then I went and created a market update. I create a market update for UAR and NAR every month. I went in and created a special version for Utah County today so that you guys can download that. If you already have something, great. If you're like, well, I have a marketing person that does that, great. And if you like the content, you can just plug and play that and your marketing person can spend all their hours on other things that you have going with them. So quarterly calls, we have a smart plan where command will remind you to call people 4 times a year. I don't love it. And I'll show you my command so you know exactly why I don't love it. It is, if I have 200 people in my database and I do the math of how many people I want to call a day, and then I go through and maybe don't call them and don't complete the task today, then they just stay there. And then I'm going to get 4 more tomorrow. And then I'm going to get 4 more the next day. And now my tasks are overdue. See? And it's like the room I close, like when it's kind of crazy in there and like someone's coming over to the house, you know? Like you just start to ignore it. The task portion of command is so robust for your tasks, for your transactions. Let's say I have a convo with somebody today and they say, you know what, Kimber, great timing. I actually do need to list my house. It's a $1.5 million house, by the way. I do need to list my house. I am just on a catamaran in, where do you go on catamarans? Like somewhere in the ocean. Yes, it is crazy. Yes, but for some reason we answered still because we love our realtor. And so will you call me back on Wednesday the 21st? I'm gone for a couple weeks. That day I have nothing. Call me back Wednesday the 21st. I want my tasks to be clear so when I go in that day to prospect, I remember I need to call Barry that was at the coast a few weeks ago. But if it's like mixed in with all the quarterly calls, then it's a disaster. Okay. So I suggest the DTD2 system. So you're going to be like, what are you talking about, crazy lady from Salt Lake County? You will see, when you see this closer, you'll know what I mean. But here's the math on it. 26 letters in the alphabet. You have 2 letters that you call every week. So if you call 2 letters every week, mathematically, you will call everybody 4 times a year. So all you have to do to implement this system is just go in and tag everybody with these tags, these letters that we have set up for you. And then all I do is filter by that tag at the beginning of the week, and those are the people that I call. So for example, this week is the 16th. So this would be an I and Q week and text G. So that would just be my check-in. I and Q would probably be a little bit slower week, right? I usually do it by last name. You could do it by first name. Just pick one though. And the other benefit of this is that you take out the bias from calling your database. If you sit in front of prospecting, you guys, I'm not a prospector. So if you're also in that group, like we'll be in a non-prospecting support group. If I look at Command and it just has a bunch of names, I will just start to be like, oh no, yeah, she's good. Oh, I don't know. No, oh, I think they bought a house. I think I saw something on social media. I don't really like you just start to create stories basically of who you don't want to talk to right then, but they're in your database. And so you need to call them 4 times a year, right? If you're going to run the 36 touch. So this way, mentally, it helps me gamify it because I am just like, hey, last name, let's go. And I just call those people, right? So that's how I'm going to implement my quarterly calls. Yes. Yes. And the reason why we add text is so that you know that the call meant call. I think that's the only reason they add text. Technically you could call, but yeah, that's why they add text. Because if you didn't put text on there, I'd be like, I and Q, hi. Indigo. What's the last name? Iverson. Yeah, the Iverson. Yeah. So anyways, that is your doing the database too system. If you are team quarterly call plan, no judge, but you're way more organized than me and you're good at clearing out tasks. Okay. So before we open up Command, Angie, I want to loop back to you. As far as you're like your face. As far as the annual property review, some of the logistics that we talked about, like having it personalized, having different mediums, anything you would add to that based on what you're doing or things you're going to add now? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so if you have your, this is how I break it down. So I'm going to show you the 2 smart plans that will cover your 2 emails a month. I would do that as your automated biweekly emails. We don't say send 2 emails a month because 2 emails like change people's lives. Like it's awesome. Like the content is so just riveting. It's so that Hunter's name pops up. Hunter. Every 14 days. Like just when you could possibly like maybe forget, like he's there. And it seems consistent enough that it's just like top of mind, right? Yes, it's not like throwaway content, but it's also more about the consistency of sending it. And then really all you need to do as Angie is like when you have that client event, you're running your 36 touch, you just go all in on prospecting, calling the list, inviting them, reaching out to them, seeing if they need more tickets, seeing if there's somebody else in their neighborhood that potentially would want to come, right? Like it starts to be, I feel like real estate becomes fun again when you can automate a lot of this stuff and you can just talk to people about this thing that you've been passionate about. Or if you're new to real estate, like the reason why you got out of what you were doing because you wanted to do this, right? Okay, so we're gonna go through exactly how to download all of this stuff. So because I'm the regional tech trainer, I work out of Command. So all of the content is in Command. So if you go into Smart Plans, so how you access Command is agent.kw.com, and you'll have your KW Systems username and password, and you'll log in here. Once you're in here, under Smart Plans, My Smart Plans is everything that you have made or downloaded in the past. It's individualized to you. The library is everything else. So I'm going to go through the things that I have gone in and created that you can download. The library is full of awesome content. If you need something, you can go and search it. I always just like to add the disclaimer. The Smart Plan library is the wild, wild west. There is no vetting for, is this in compliance? Well, there is vetting for compliance. They make you have either a legal footer or header. All of my content has a legal footer, so you'll always have your DBA logo on there. But that's about it. So someone could go create, Hunter could be like, I love this. I'm gonna go create an awesome email. And then he could put in parentheses, insert link here and say, hey clients, these are the properties that came live this week. I'm so excited to share them with you. Insert link here. He does it as a template, but then we just go, oh, that's cool. And then we go send it to all of our database and we didn't look at the content. And now we send our whole database an insert link here, right? So just go look at content before you go and send it to anybody. If it has my name as the author name, I have a rule that if I'm going to create it and share it, it requires 0 edits. It doesn't mean you won't want to edit it and that you can't edit it, but I don't want it to be required that you have to edit it, okay? So even down to if it has like your website or your phone number, I'm always gonna use merge fields. There is nothing that you have to do. So under library, again, this is all in that slideshow as far as what the plans are called. I'm just going to search author name, Kimber Walton. So the oldest is at the top, which is unfortunate because we got to scroll down. Okay. July Utah County market update. Heck yeah. Although, do you guys consider yourself the Wasatch Front? Heck yeah. Okay, then I think I did okay. Because the top does have like utahrealestate.com, like their little graphic, that data, but right below it is UAR's Utah County screenshot. So here's the thing. We're gonna look at it and then we're gonna look at Dean's face right after and then see if we did okay. And if not, we can edit it. Okay, but that's gonna be one of the plans you download. The other one is this annual property review MOFR. Again, this is just made specific for what we've talked about today. And then this is the other one that I shared. So I have a lot of 36 touch stuff. I recently recreated one. It's not, the content is relevant to the current market, but I said previously part 7, 8, and 9 because Command used to have a design limitation and now it doesn't. And so you can put 1 year's worth of content in there. So would be the best one to download now. So just 36 touch, previously part 7, 8, and 9. Okay, so now we're gonna go through what? So this is what I am suggesting. First of the month, you send a market update email. The reason why I say first of the month is because the market data comes out around this time for the previous month. So if you picture, it's June 19th or 18th, and I just got the market data for May. If I wait to send it till the end of July or even middle of July, like we are talking almost 2 months old, right? That's just how market data works. So I just like to send it as soon as possible. So what I do is send my market update email on the 1st, and then I have my other 36 touch email that's automated. I have that going out in the middle of the month. And then that way they're spread out. Smart plans are delay based. So you can tell a smart plan to start on June 26th, 2024, but from that date, it would be delayed. So if I have one email a month for a year and I start it on the 26th, the next email is going to go 30 days from there based on the delay. So just be aware of that. So I'm going to show you what the market update email looks like. So you notice this email is a 1 email smart plan. I wish I could fully automate this email, but the data comes out every 30 days. So you'll just have to like come in here and grab a market update email, right? But this email, if you go, I'll show you how to add people to smart plans. You literally have to click select all, add to smart plan. I think it's 4 mouse clicks. You could have this email out. Because Kimber said we don't have to edit things, but we just want to make sure. We're just going to check. I'm going to go click preview. So I don't like to be, even though I feel like I can use utahrealestate.com pretty well, I don't like to be the decipherer of information. I like to be the relayer of information. So this graphic, the data matches what utahrealestate.com posts every month. And I just go take the data and put it on a graphic that is just more generic. Also, this is just screenshots straight from UAR. So I have a Utah County specific, entire state. And then this narrative is just copy and pasted from what UAR puts out every 30 days. And then, of course, I've got a nice call to action at the bottom. And you can't see it on the template, but it's got the legal footer so that it will send that. Yeah, okay. We can talk after if we need to change something. Yes, yeah. So I'll show you the one that is automated. So I've created one of the emails is automated, meaning if you go add everybody to it today, they'll get 1 email a month for the rest of the year, or for 12 months, right? This one, because it comes out every 30 days, I just publish it. And all you'll have to do is once a month, go and manually send it to your database. Yeah.
Yeah, the numbers will be on
Because
there.
we'll publish a new one every 30 days. So that's why that part isn't automated, but there's a reason. Yeah, good question.
So what I'll do, I'll send out a Loom video. Kimber will show you how to do it. I'll send out a Loom video of exactly how to do it. And then I would just attach that Loom video link to a calendar event that repeats every month, right? So first Monday of the month, just say, hey, send clients monthly market update, right? Watch the Loom video on how to do it, or, you know, if you already know how to do it, just have it a calendar event. That's how you make it automated, right? You just make sure you do it every month.
This one, however, when you go add your database to it, they'll get 1 email a month, delayed every 30 days. So when I was talking about the formula that I do, I send the market update on the 1st, mainly because it's like top of mind. It's also as most current as it can be. And then I have this one scheduled for kind of the middle of the month. So those 2 emails cover my automation as far as 36 touch. The I don't like to say extra credit, but there's always somebody that's like, but I love to create my own newsletter. And is that you? I wasn't trying to call you out. Yeah. No, there is a ton of agents that do that. I have a lot of agents in Salt Lake County. Well, they'll take that market update newsletter, or that market update email, and that's they take like the data from that, and then they just kind of piece in their cute, like, here's the events that are happening in the area. So you can do that if you want. But again, if you don't want to have to worry about it, this is the set it and forget it. Real estate specific, real estate relevant. Relevant, at least I don't like to dig in too much on the market, right? Like we publish these every 9 months. So they're not really old ever anyways, but I don't like to get too specific on things like data and rates and blah, blah, blah. So this is just things about real estate, owning real estate. I have a lot of question-based emails. Question-based emails when you're marketing or asking questions in a marketing space is good because you're asking someone the question that they think about. I don't know the answer to that. And because you're the one that sent the email, you're the one I need to ask for the answer to the question. I know that sounds weird. So for example, sending an email to your client, are short-term rentals profitable? With information around that. They're like, I don't know, are they? And you're the one that has information about what that looks like, what we look for in order to make it profitable, some potential opportunities for that. Yeah. And then I just want to show you that annual property email. So the email, so you can see that hello, contact first name, that's a merge field. So this is catered to you already have purchased a home. So if you wanted to make like the first time home buyer version of it, the nice thing is you can come in to the smart plan. Once it's in your smart plans, you can just go click on the 3 dots on the far right and you can duplicate it. I published this one and I have people on it, so it's not letting me duplicate it, but you can go and duplicate a plan and then just say like the first time home buyer annual property review. And you could get, again, a little bit strategic on what that looks like what that offer is, or if anything, this specific thing, if you have your first time home buyers tagged, you can actually exclude that tag for when you're sending out this email. So it's not that you always have something for all these niches. It's just that you're sending relevant content too, so you can just filter them out. I'm going to go back here. So you can see I've sent the email. The next day I have a task to send the property card. So the cool thing about the tasks in Smart Plan is there is a hyperlink section. So I've actually hyperlinked the Canva template. So when you get the reminder that you need to be sending out a mailer, then you can just go click that and go edit it from there. Again, I wish like this could fully be automated too, but it is nice because once you go and create, I have done as much as I possibly can. So even the size of the Canva template is the specific size that when you go and upload a direct mail template in Command, it is the correct size. So done as much as I can. And then I just have a delay for 10 days, and then it just has a follow-up to contact the person. And then, I mean, again, once you download this, you guys can edit it to however you want. I know we were talking about high level client touch program. And one of the things that Shoni specifically asked for when we were talking about it is a MOFR. What is something that our agents can use to make an offer and get a response? Putting out there that you are doing an annual property review. You'd love to get them this data, love to get them this info. We can have this combo. That is something that, especially if they own real estate right now, is pretty compelling. I think the underbelly conversation that doesn't get had enough right now is that people that own a house that are in a lower interest rate, even with that list, there are still people that they want to do they're still on the I'm property ladder game, right? Where they want a little bit bigger, nicer house, right? Usually it indicates because our family got bigger or all of that, but they still want to have that conversation as well. And if anything, the media is telling them it's over, market's it's awful, wait, right? Do you ever see a news article that actually says, like, you should go buy real estate right now? I don't actually ever see those. Yeah, so you get to be a calming, like, no, it's okay. Like your 4,000 square foot house that you want to buy, because right now you guys are kind of cozy in the 2,000. That's still a possibility. And you're able to just talk to them and have that conversation, see if there's some options, some other properties that they own that they could, factor into that. Being intentional about an offer right now, there isn't anybody immune to that wouldn't need that combo. But it takes all these little logistics of thinking through the messaging to get people to be excited about it because of the dang billboards that say 7%. Ahas, questions. Let's do ahas first. And if you don't have any, just kidding. It's fine if you don't have any. Did you have one? Okay, there you go. Anyone else? Yeah.
I'm just following up if you sent out kind of for email or any or even email, then following it up with some other company. Seen it.
Thank you for saying that because follow-up is huge. It's everything. I mean, think about how you get communicated to. Let's say you are stoked about Pilates, like you are doing Pilates this year, and you sign up for the thing on Instagram, and then all they do is call you and ask you if you want to come to Pilates. You're like, I do not. Why are you calling me so much? But it's mainly just because I need to be in the right spot and the right frame of mind and like the right time to either send the email or answer the text. And so them following up with me is huge, right? At some point, someone raised their hand about real estate, or at some point, someone got into your database for whatever reason. So yeah, being intentional about the follow-up with any of your strategies is a big piece. It's like missing the salt when you're like baking something, right? It's the big piece. Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, where do I begin? Simple,
Yeah, well, and then you can check it off your list because if there's this never ending, like I need to do that, I need to do that, I just need to do that, I need to do that, I need to do that. then you focus on the things you need to do rather than focusing on what you could do today. And so, yeah, if anything, the two reasons, like my why behind creating these, one is I made these at a time where our technology wasn't as far along as it is today. And so selfishly, I was like, I need to make something that gets agents excited about using Command to connect with their database. And I still feel like it serves that purpose. And another goal is if I can do this for you, then you can just spend all the time on prospecting because there's not really anything else to spend time on. That's my goal. So if it makes you be in front of people, be more human more often, then I just like you are going to make more money in this industry. Angie? Have you ever taught your children a lesson where you only had to tell them once? That's always the example I use. It always sticks that third time, right? Yes, I know, or just humans, but yeah. Okay.
I would just say, so often we look at real estate businesses and how often do we talk to agents that don't even realize that they're running a business, right? We're running an actual business. It's definitely client and relationship based, but you're running a business. What I would say is it would probably only take you about 20 to 30 minutes to sit down and first itemize out what touches you want to send out to your client in a year, right? Where do you want to be in relation? What events do you want to do? What type of emails do you want to send? So I would spend a few, 20, 30 minutes doing that and then come and sit down with me Tuesdays and Thursdays, 3 to 4, and I can help you build it out step by step. So it's a system that you can repeat. So you're not feeling overwhelmed. I promise you, if you just did that one thing, it would take less than, 2 hours to do, maybe a little bit more, but still take a day to do it. And then you would have your business set up for the entire year. And then it's just maintenance. So that would be my encouragement. Take what Kimber's built. Let's plan on how you're going to implement it in your business and then just rinse and repeat.
Amen. That's a mic drop. You could actually drop the mic, but then Shoni might get mad. Just kidding. Okay, awesome. So follow up, we will send you the slides so that you have them. The smart plans that we've talked about, they're just available to you on command. So you can go and download those. It is easiest to just search author name Kimber Walton. Kimber Walton's way easier to remember than annual property review MOFR. And all the other things that we have in there. So yes, and I would say action item, I would say even next week, go to both those tech bars and just see what you can check off, even if it's down to the direct mail, like who could I send this to right now? Who could I email it to? And then we started with database health score. If your aha is like, I don't have people's contact info, then that's why we started with that, because we have to start somewhere. So just the awareness of, oh, these 3 hours that I come into the market center every day, I just need to focus on getting more of that essential database info. That's going to be time well spent. Our kids are out of school. I feel like even though they're around more, it also is less chaotic not being in the school session. And so I think this is a great time of year to work on all this stuff. So yeah, let us know how we can help. Thanks for coming. You guys are amazing. There was a crowd here today. Loved it. Okay. Thank you. I don't know.